Good evening, everyone. It is Sunday. What is it, the 21st? I've been traveling, so I don't know exactly what date it is. It's the 21st. And this is a new builder call. And so tonight I am going to be talking a little bit about, last week we talked about names lists, how to create a names list. So I just talked to Kim and Marianne just a little bit about their names list. And today we're going to move into like scheduling your first classes and what that looks like. So if you haven't done your names list, we just talked to Kim and Marianne. We talked about just looking through your Facebook contacts, looking through your email contacts, looking through your, your message, on your phone about looking through all that and looking at names. And it might not be something you're going to reach out to this week, or maybe not even like, in the next few months, but just writing their name down as a possible contact of someone that you think might be interested in essential oils. We don't know. So I found in this business in almost 3 years that like the people that I least expect are gonna want the oils, they want them. And the people that I most expect don't. So it's not really our job to determine that for them, right? We can't determine what people need. So all we can do is we know the oils are awesome. We know we want to share them and get at them in as many homes as we possibly can because we know they're going to change lives. And so it's just our job to help the people around that we care about and we love. If there are contacts, most likely it's people in our circle, right? And we want people in our circle to be happy. We want them to be healthy. And for me, if I am holding back on not sharing with people, I feel like I'm almost hiding a secret at this point. Like they don't know about it, right? So I want people to know about it. So it's kind of like, how do you go about sharing with them? And a lot of times it's just, we talked about just being out and being about, with our family and friends and talking to them. That's like the easiest way. It's the most natural way, and just doing things. Marianne talked to someone at the Woodward Cruise this weekend, and, Kimberly said this weekend she was out talking to some people. I was out at my reunion this weekend talking to people. So being out and about and just being open about it and being a parent. For the people that we don't see that are on our names list, that can be a little bit more tricky because you don't want to just come off and be like, hey, all of a sudden start talking to you. I'm selling oils. Do you want some? But it could be something like, hey, I was just thinking about you the other day. I was going through like my friends and my contacts, and I just thought about you because I've been really helping a lot of people out with essential oils, and I'm just wondering if you're open to learning more about them because I'd love to invite you to like a class that I'm having, or I'd love to invite you to like an online webinar if you're interested. So it doesn't have to be like, I'm selling these, do you want them? But more just like, hey, I was thinking about you, and or the different people, if it's like one of my high school friends, I'd be like, hey, it was great to see you at the reunion. I never mentioned this, but I was thinking about you, after I left, blah, blah, blah. So just kind of figuring out the right way that you want to do it. But you don't want to just all of a sudden just like plop a message in their Facebook message, like I'm having a class, without even just kind of opening up something for them, which I think you probably know that. But so if you're a new builder and you're listening to this recording and you haven't come up with a names list, I encourage you to write down names, because it's just different when you write it down and you go through your contacts. And it doesn't mean that you have, like I said, have to contact them now. I've heard in doTERRA, some of the biggest ranks like diamonds and blue diamonds and presidential diamonds, they have lists of 500 names. A lot of them have only not even gotten through the first 100 of their names. Okay. So they just literally write down all these people's names, but they might not even get through the first 50 before, they're going at it. So it's not like you're just going through these names. It's just like you're writing them down as possible contacts for the future. And if you have a big network of people, you're going to have more names too. So it's just different. Like, you have like your warm market friends, especially if you're just starting your business. Like when you first start, you're like, oh yeah, I know this person's going to be interested. And you kind of have your people that you want to start off with, which is great because the health-minded people. But it's kind of as you go down the road and you've been doing it for a couple of years that, you got to keep that interest out there and keep talking to people and keep meeting new people and keep, putting yourself in different situations where you're going to meet people and connect with people. And that's how your network grows. So just a few things to kind of think about as you're creating your names list, adding to it, and like reaching out to people.
Just kind of add to the reaching out.
Yeah.
If you're reading people's Facebook posts, keep an eye out to what they're saying. They may be mentioning something that, hey, I have something that can help you with that.
Yeah, I do that too. So not like I'm, if someone says something like, or I notice like a friend's always like posting like, oh, my kid is sick again. Like I might private message them and be like, hey, how's it going? I saw your post the other day about your kid, would you like to try something? I'd be happy to like send you a sample. I'd be happy to, you can pop over to my house and I'll get it to you. And Nina, who's one of my builders on my team, she was in my Holistic Moms Network, and that just thing happened to her, but she had something going on with her, and I made her something and it worked, and she became one of my builders, and she bought like a really large kit like within a month. So it's those people that you reach out to, you never know what's going to happen. And they're usually very appreciative of trying to help them out because we know that the oils are going to help them. So yeah, it's a good thing to look for on Facebook, because everyone's always telling you how they feel on Facebook, right? Or that their kid's sick. Especially when this time of year is coming up. Yeah. So in school starting, all of those things. We, I'm saying this on recording, but we dodged a huge bullet last week. I'm so thankful. Our babysitters babysat on Tuesday, and then the mom called me on Wednesday, and they had lice.
Oh.
I was like beside myself. I was like, oh my gosh. Well, you cannot do anything with like, I couldn't do anything at that point for the lice. You can do something to prevent it, right? But once you have it, it's if you have it, it's like you can't put oils on. But of course, I took my kids up to the showers, like coconut oil, rosemary, eucalyptus. I was like rubbing it all over their head or whatever. Thank God we never got it. I don't know how that happened, because those two teenage girls were all over my whole house. They were laying on stuff. Like I don't know how. I thank God. Like I think I prayed for like an hour or something. Like thank God I dodged that bullet. But now, since they're going to be going back to school and co-ops, I'm going to be making sure I put on, there's a preventative spray that you can make. Spray bottle with like eucalyptus, manuka, rosemary, clove, whatever. I'll be spraying that on their heads just as a preventative, because you can prevent the little buggers, but once they're there, it's really hard. So that would be something that would be good to post on your Facebook pages as people start the school year, because that's always runs rampant, right? At the beginning of the year. It's crazy.
Wouldn't it work too to just take the when you wash their hair and then at night or in the morning to put those oils in the shampoo and then wash their hair with that in there?
Yep. So you can just do the Melaleuca and like in the shampoo and the rosemary in the shampoo, and that's totally fine. My girls don't shower every morning, so that's why I'll just like put it in a spray bottle and I'll just rub. And it's really, you know, like around the nape of the neck down here and like around the ears and around the side and the top or whatever. I mean, I was literally like, my head was like itching the whole day. I was like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't have it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's not deadly or anything. It's just more about, you know, there's no like, it's not going to harm you. It's just more of a pain than anything. And I was just like, oh my gosh. I was using the oils more for calming. Okay. So I digressed a little bit, but all right. So names list, make sure you do that, because you need to do your names list to see if you're going to invite to your first classes. All right. So scheduling a class. I know Marianne has had some classes. Kimberly hasn't. What I would do is I would get like a blank calendar, I know, or whatever whatever you use for your organizer. I'm a paper person, maybe you're a computer person, and just look at your calendar for September. It's always good to plan like your classes even 2 months out. Like if you could even plan September and October and kind of like pencil in some dates, because it just gets busy, right? And we need to let people know about their classes, like our classes, a month ahead of time. So whether you put it on Facebook, whether you send a personal invite, whether you have a newsletter with your classes. And I always have a newsletter every month that I put in like my classes for the next month, so people can kind of plan for them, creating events, whatever you want. So what I usually do is around now, I will just like start planning. And sometimes I'll do like a couple months at a time, but usually just a month ahead of time because my schedule changes. And I'll look and I'll start planning my classes. So have either of you done that for September yet?
No.
Not yet? Kimberly, I know we talked a little bit about that. I know we're going to meet this Wednesday, but we were talking about a couple of dates possibly, right?
Yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
hopefully have a better idea of my schedule.
Yeah, right. So I just look at my calendar, however I want to do it, and I like to plan a couple months out. I mean, there's some people that plan every quarter. They'll plan all kinds of different things. So just kind of up to you. With the seasons in Michigan, it changes. You know, summer is really hard for having classes, but fall is good. Winter is good. Winter on the weekends is good because there's not as much going on. But the weekends is bad in the fall and the nice weather because no one wants to be there. Nighttime's good. Friday nights are usually good, I have found. In the past 3 years, I have found Friday nights have good attendance. Saturdays, during the weekends have good attendance. weeknights are tricky, touch and go. I've had some like younger moms do daytime classes, which have worked really well. So it just kind of depends, with the circle and the different people that you're working with. I found it best to like, if I can, like schedule 2 classes at different times, like maybe one a weeknight, one a weekend when I'm just starting. So then people can't come to one, they can come to the other, right? So, oh, I can't come to weekend. Oh, I also have one here, So like having a couple for people to choose from is really good too. Or 2 to 3 classes. So like, hey, I can't come this day, but like, here are my 3 classes for the month. Hopefully you can make it to one of those. When I first started, I did 2 classes a month. I think I did 2, maybe 3, but I always did 2 classes a month when I first started. And then, it varied from doing a lot of classes to, just more back to 2 a month too. So a lot of teams in doTERRA, they do weekly classes. So it just kind of depends on the organization. So for me, like that doesn't work for my family schedule. So I just try to get a couple in a month. People kind of know that about me, that I always have like a continuing class, and I'll be doing more online stuff too now. So online can be a class too, where you can do a webinar or just do a Zoom chat. Okay, so plan your dates. You got your name list, you got your dates. So then what are you going to do? Lots of different ways you can go about it. Creating Facebook events is okay. Not a lot of people see that though. I found the best way for me to invite people is like the people on my names list that I want to come. I will say like, hey, I'm having essential oil class. Is it okay if I invite you to it? Or would you be open to coming? Do you want to know about it? Just depending on the friend, or if I know someone that's been interested in coming, like, hey, I know you've been wanting to come to a class. Can I invite you to this one? So they're kind of looking out for it. Because the Facebook events, as we know, kind of get lost in our feed, right? They just kind of come out there. So I have found like either a text message or a Facebook message or an email have been the best ways for me to get people to classes. I'm not a phone call person, but they say phone call is even the best. If you call them up, I don't think a lot of people do that anymore, but some people are phone people. You really do get them, and you can just say, hey, can I, it depends on the friend, right? The relationship. But if it's like just, a friend of yours like, hey, how's it going? Hey, I just want to let you know, if you just have a minute, I just want to invite you to an essential oil class. If you're open to coming, you want the information? Yes, no, okay. If they can't make it, oh, I can't make it that night. Okay, well, I'm having another one this night. Maybe you can come to this night. What I have found that's the best way than just kind of putting like a blanket. I've done it before that way too, just like putting it on Facebook, like here's the class. I get way more people if I just personally talk to them. But I like to say like, hey, are you, is it okay if I invite you before I actually even send them the invite information? So that has worked better. Okay, does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so once you can invite them, this comes with your, when you enroll, the Sharing doTERRA guide. And I love this one. And it basically goes through the share program, which I'm going to talk about tomorrow night on the Builders Call. All the different ways you can get free products when you are first enrolled. I think, Marianne, you're past this date, but you can help your new builders with this. And then Kimberly, you froze up here, but maybe your computer went out. But you're gonna be able to do the share program. So I'm gonna talk about this more tomorrow night. But it basically, in this share guide that I like to look at when helping someone host a class, it basically says pick your date and time, pick your venue, and then come up with your names list. And then what I would do is drawings are really big, or like an incentive, like the first 10 people that RSVP will get a free sample. Or I'm going to be doing a drawing at this class. Like I'll be giving away a free roller, I'll giving away a free lice spray, different things like that to get people to come and excited, right? So when I do the invite, I will say that, I'm doing a drawing at the class. That tends to make people want to come. There's so much on getting people to come to classes and different things like that. But if they've never tried the essential oil and they're new, I might say like, hey, can I drop a sample if they're local? Can I drop a sample off at your house? Or do you want to stop by and grab one, so they can have an experience before they come to the class? That's really great if you can do that. if you're doing like a webinar, and you're going to get a bunch of people on it and they're not local, you could like send some samples out so they can have them while you're talking on the Zoom call. It's a little bit more work, but they get an experience with the oils. So before they come to their first class, if it's possible, give them a sample to try, or before they come onto a call, like a webinar, give them a sample to try too, okay? Again, I find that like making sure that you can invite them and then following up with them like one day before the class, even 2 days of class. Hey, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Hey, I can't wait to see you tonight. That really helps getting them to the class and getting them there. If they know that they're, some people do like starting on time. If you're here on time, you get a free sample. People do all kinds of different things for having an actual class. So then in this sharing guide too, it talks about all the things that you need for your class. So making sure you have your date, what to do 1 week out, what to do 2 weeks out, what to do the day of the event. So things like making sure you have your location, your topic, whether it's intro to oils, whatever it is, your guest list, making sure if you're going to do a PowerPoint, you have the equipment, making sure that you have all your stuff like your samples and your prizes, making sure you have your catalogs, making sure you're confirming with the guests 2 days beforehand, the day of the event, reminding them, all of those things. And so in this guide, I like it because it talks about all of those things. And then it also talks, I'm not going to get too much into this tonight, but like booking a class at a class, that's the best way to set up more classes. So when you go to your classes, have your calendar with you, and you can ask people if they'd like to book classes. And what I'm going to start doing, which I've been terrible about, is having diffusers. I bought a bunch of diffusers, and like if they book a class at my class and they have 5 people, they're going to get a free diffuser. So trying to get them, and so making sure you have your calendar so you know like these are my open, or you can just say like, hey, I have these dates open, if you know your open days, and seeing if they want to host a class. And there are drawing slips too that you can hand out at your classes, and so those are found in the files section of our, and once you host your first class, I can help you with this, but they're in the files section of our business page. And basically it's all their information on there. It says if they want to book a class, whatever. And so if they say they're going to book a class, you can give them another drawing slip, so then they can have an extra slip for the drawing that you do at the end of the night. And usually at the end of the night, I draw like for a free oil of some sort or whatever. But the drawing slip makes sure you get all their information, and also sees if they're interested in hosting a class or learning more about oils. You get that information on there. So that's great. And then you can say like, oh, look, Judy wants to book a class. Here, fill another one of these out. You're going to get another drawing slip to win the free oil. And that kind of gets people excited about that. If you're doing it live on a webinar, it's a little bit different. They don't really fill out a drawing slip, but you could just, whoever's on the webinar, just somehow do a system and draw a name from the people that are on. And hey, you so-and-so won. And you could do like, is anybody open hosting a class tonight? And if someone says they will, okay, you get an extra, thing. So you can just do it more virtually versus them filling it out, and you could have them fill out the information, some other way, before the class, or even, at that time. So that's just a little bit. So this share guide is really good. It comes with your kits for thinking about hosting a class, but also if you have business people on your team, this is good to help them plan their first class. So helps you guide someone to host their very first class. The big thing is connecting with them to make sure that they want to come to the class, getting them a sample if you can before the class, and then following up with them to make sure they're going to come to the class, giving some kind of incentive for them to be there. Maybe that's going to be the drawing, and then trying to book a class from the class, other people that are there that they might want to host, and having some kind of incentive for that. Those are the kind of big things with the classes. So I know that was a lot of information. I know, Marianne, you've had some classes, so you might be able to give some feedback on this, but just any questions that you have about once you have your names list and kind of starting to get your first class, this is not even the content of the class, but just kind of the whole aspect of inviting and getting people there. Things that you have experienced, Marianne, or just questions, or from either of you, Renee or Kim?
I've done I've done the Facebook events, but from that page, you can message them automatically. It'll go straight to, your thing will go to them. And then I would post something every couple of days on the event, so I kept bringing it back up to the Facebook feed. So I bring it back up on there so it would keep showing up. So I put hints or like a cleaning something or just something different, just so it keeps popping back up.
Yeah, just like, so when you've been to like people's like online, like clothing or jewelry things, like you're posting little things to kind of keep the interest going. That's great. So if you created like a Facebook event to kind of keep the interest going of things you're going to be talking about and just recipes and different things, that's a great idea for sure. Renee or Kim, do you have any questions with getting your first class in the books?
I did my first class. That was last Sunday.
And how did that go? I know you had,
It was great.
now, was it a live class or was it,
No, it was live. It was right in Brownstown.
okay. And how did it go?
37 emails and following up, nurturing, and it was good. I didn't have any product to sell at the time, like in person.
Right.
Yeah, but that was it. It's good.
So you did yours all via email.
No, I did mine in person in Brownstown, and then the nurturing, the following up.
Oh, email. How did you invite them though?
It was a group. It was a bunch of us, like my friend who has a Rodan and Fields.
Okay. Okay.
She's like my gym friend. So we
Okay.
all got together. It was awesome. And there were no other oils there. So it's like a big old party.
Great. So it was kind of like an event that already was kind of set up.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. And so the following up is kind of what you're doing with all of them that were there.
Exactly.
Good. How about you, Kim? Do you have any questions?
No, I just got me thinking.
Right.
Do I even have sound? It keeps telling me I don't.
I know we're meeting on Kim. You can't see Renee right now. You don't have your picture up, Renee. But Renee, Kim's one of our. She's a new.
Yeah, I don't know.
She's our new builder in Ann Arbor, and Renee is downriver. So she's in Allen Park area. I think Kim freezes up a little bit, but yeah.
Okay.
So that was kind of all for tonight. Just kind of making sure that you have created that names list and going through all of your contacts. Have you? We talked a little bit about that, Renee, before you popped on. Have you made your names list?
Names list. Yeah, I'm doing everything virtually in essence. I'm not gonna.
Right. No. Yeah. Not writing it down, but however you are going to create them. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yep. And we just said too. We just talked about like, people in doTERRA in the high ranks. They have like almost 500 people on their names list, and like I know you use different systems like MailChimp and stuff like that for reaching out, but it's kind of personally reaching out to them and just putting it out there, and seeing what happens. And then some people in doTERRA will come up with like 500 people, but they'll only even get through their first 100 before they even hit diamond, So it could be the names list for people using the oils, but you can also create a names list for people you think that would be good in the business. So it's two ways of reaching out. One is for the oils and one is for the business opportunity too. So I know a lot of us are, we know in this business, you have to get partners alongside of you doing the business to really, really, really grow. So it's kind of thinking about it twofold. And a lot of times people have to use the oils first before they even think about the business side, but we all have those entrepreneurial friends, right, Renee?
Yes.
So, I'm just laughing because that was you, but, friends that are gonna want to do the business side of it too. So tonight tomorrow night when we talk about the share program, which is awesome, and that will be kind of more of the business call, because last week on the business call there was a lot of people that wanted to know more about the share program, and it's something we definitely should know about for new people coming into the business, because it's another incentive for them to host their class. Even if they don't necessarily want to do the business side of doTERRA, for the first 120 days that they're enrolled, they can get free oils. So you might have someone that gets the oils that can take part in the share program. And so tomorrow night I'm going to be going more in depth with that. But it's awesome. It's just a really great incentive that doTERRA has created to get people sharing in the oils right away. And you can get a ton of free stuff. So tomorrow night I'm going to go more in depth about that. So this week's homework is going to be still adding some more people to your names list. Go through your contact list a little bit more. See if you can get some more names out there. I'm not saying you're going to contact them all right away. Get your calendar for September going. Plan 1 to 2 classes. Plan at least 2 so you have a backup, all right? Either if you're going to do virtual or if you're going to do inline. So in person. It could be one-to-ones too, you know, so if you have certain people you want to meet one-to-one. Get your classes for September so you can start to get those invitations out, whether it's going to be a paper invitation, which not a lot of people do anymore, but more, you know, texting them and saying, hey, I was thinking about you. Do you think, you know, you'd like to come to essential oil class? I'd love to send you an invitation. Asking them to see if you can send that and making that personal connection, and then inviting them to those classes. And then once that gets going, this guide really does help you in thinking about planning your first class, the steps that you have to go through to plan your first class, and thinking about, people always like freebies, so thinking about what you want to do for a freebie to get either people to come to the class, and then while you're there to get another class booked, which is something I need to work on. I very rarely ever book a class from a class, so it's something I'm going to work on doing a little bit more.
Speaking of freebies, there have been a lot of essential oil necklaces and essential oil bracelets for like $5 or $7 on Amazon. It would be a nice giveaway.
Yeah, that's great. Anything like, you know, in that range, you shouldn't be spending a ton of money on giveaways, but that's a great price range. When you get the class in the box, when you're a business person, you get all those wild oranges and magazines for free. You can't beat that. That's just a great thing to be able to give away at your classes or to send to people too. So I always encourage the class in the box, and I buy a class in the box every so often too. So I have those to give away.
I've been giving away my magazines and some wild oranges and just
Yeah.
information.
And I give the wild orange, or I give the magazine to people that are just interested. It's almost like a catalog, right? But it's even better because it's got all the articles in there. So the class in the box is totally worth it. And if you're a new builder, something that you need to get at some point. So I'll talk to you a little bit about that on Wednesday, Kim, too. But it's a really great, just has all the tear sheets and the different things you need for your first class. So yeah. Any other pressing questions? We have less than 1 minute.
I do.
Okay.
I have someone that I was trying to nurture as a builder. And I texted her and said, let's get together and let's talk about some things. And she just texted back and said, well, I'm just going to keep my LRP going, and I don't really want to have any classes anymore. And it sent back as well, you know, there's some other ideas, things that you can do, but she never got back with me again. Because I was going to start talking to her about webinars or Facebook Live or something. Just so she doesn't have to do classes so much, but, you know, just getting out there and talking with using those mediums.
Yeah, I mean, I if someone doesn't want to build, it's really hard to kind of get them to really want to do it. You don't want to be pushing those people. Now, if there's a different thing going on where you think she might want to, and maybe another avenue she might want to explore, and you can share that with her. Maybe you invite her to something that's like that, so she can see what that's like. But in getting into this business, like that, you really just want to work with people that really want to build, because that's going to be